This is Devin Kraft from the Science Faction Podcast. You're listening to the BS Podcast Network. Enjoy the show.
Coming to you from the 15th floor of Aulani Disney Resort and Spa in Ko'olina, Hawaii, with the sounds of the Aloyo Room from below. You're listening to the Magic Our Way Podcast with your hosts, Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Lee. Enjoy. Mahalo.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of the Magic Our Way Podcast. Asante Sana, everyone. You are listening to the Magic Our Way Podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana, in the United States of America. We are artistic buffs talking about Disney stuff, and this is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. My name is Kevin.
And I am Danny.
And on this show, we follow the Disney concept of edutainment, where we focus on your entertainment, and along the way, you just might learn a thing or two.
Hey.
And always, to join us in our discussion, we have our resident comic genius from Ivory Island.
Blah, blah, blah. Do, 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 do. Blah, blah. Do, 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 do. Blah, blah.
All right. And as always, to join in this discussion, we have our resident comic genius from ivorycomics.com, Mr. Eli Ivory. How you doing, sir?
Doing very well, man. How y'all doing?
Doing well, man. Happy Mardi Gras. Or Carnival, or whatever time. Carnival time.
Carnival time, party time.
Yes. And also, we have our resident travel agent from Magical Moments Vacations, the Shaggy TA, Lee. How you doing, Lee?
Oh, good. Just enjoying these Thin Mints special delivery. Thank you from the greatest Girl Scout in the world.
Oh,
and Student of the Month.
Would you? Yeah, she is Student of the Month.
I saw that sign. You forgot. Yeah,
cool. Technically, she was a Student of the Month last month, but the previous Student of the Month wouldn't give the sign back.
Wow.
So they stripped him of his title.
It's like taking a kid's crown.
Yeah, they had to make a new sign, so she got her sign.
Good.
Later. Yeah, it was quite the scandal.
That's terrible.
They should make a bunch of those signs.
Shenanigans, I tell you. Shenanigans.
So
it was like when what was her name? Vanessa Williams posed for Playboy.
Oh yeah.
Stripped her of the title. That was
took the sash.
No more Student of the Month for you.
That's crazy, man.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm eating some Thin Mints too, thanks to her.
Good.
I appreciate it. Yes.
And Lee's her favorite travel agent, and podcaster. So it makes sense that Lily would be his favorite Girl Scout.
Now, to be fair, my daughter is no longer in Girl Scouts, so that is the reason why, if she was still in Girl Scouts, we might have to have a arm wrestling match or something.
You and Lily? Seems
no,
unfair.
my daughter and Lily.
Lily.
Come on, over the top, Lily, over the top.
Flip a coin or something.
Anyway, while y'all have that image in your heads, listeners, Mohicans, ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show for you today. We are continuing with our top 10s of the decade. And on this particular show, we are doing the top 10 ride attractions of the past decade, 2010 to 2019. So guys, enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go discuss some magic. Well, I figured I'd lead off the show with another commentary, as I did last week.
You need your own theme music for this or something like this. Weekly Kevin grinds my gears.
I don't know if it's grind my gears. It's just like interesting observations from my life surrounding Disney, I guess.
What seems like a long time. Magic?
Yeah, maybe I'll find a new theme. But that one's nice. We never use it, but I don't know. I don't know what else we use it for.
Deep Thoughts with Q.
Yeah, that could be good. I like that.
We got to come up with a name for it.
Yeah. Maybe it'll evolve as more of these things. They seem to be happening more and more. But, this past week, guys, I fell into kind of a little sadness.
You?
Yes, me. Because this is the first Mardi Gras in which I'm not going anywhere. And usually I'm going to something Disney related, And so early this week, as I was looking through my timeline, I was like, oh, yeah, we're on a cruise. Oh, we're in Disney World. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, man, 10 years ago, we're in Disney World again. So like every Mardi Gras for a good while, we usually go out of town. I'll enjoy some of the carnival time activities, and then I'll end up, leaving after this week of work coming up, to be exact. But that's not happening. So I was a little sad, a little forlorn. I was just,
oh no.
That's because you just started the other job, so you didn't have any time off to do it?
No, it has nothing to do with it. We're just not taking a trip this year during Mardi Gras.
That's
or to Disney World, yeah. Saving some money for future trips, I'm sure.
Right. So you gonna go.
Yeah. Eventually, yeah. But, you know, it seems like every, you know, I don't have that trip to look forward to this time of year.
That's true. When is your next trip to Disney?
I have no idea.
So that's why you're sad.
Yeah.
You've got nothing to look forward to.
I have nothing to look forward to.
Your life is just bleak
until you're miserable.
Until you have a Disney trip to look forward to.
All I have is this podcast to get me through it. That's my therapy to kind of, you know, yell at my doctors and just.
You need us to give you therapy?
Yeah, man.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, thanks, man. Good old pat in the back.
You could big time it like we're doing and do our 4th Disney trip. We've done Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Cruise is coming up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But you know, it's all not lost.
I like that he's looking forward to it.
You're just like, yeah.
Hope I don't get sick.
Yeah.
We'll help you through it.
Yes.
As much as y'all are helping me, we'll help you through that whole cruise experience. I like my cruise. I was looking at those pictures the other day, which didn't really help this sadness. You know, that was like 2 years ago, but whatever. It was a good time. I like reflecting on it. You know, the cruise ship, it was great.
Can I tell you what the good news is, though?
What's the good news?
Is that I keep booking these Disney trips. I keep using Lee as a travel agent, and every trip booked with Lee, a percentage goes back to help the show.
That's right.
So hopefully after this cruise deal, I mean, and you got the whole Lawless Clan booking for this one. Hopefully after that, we'll have enough money to where we can take a podcast trip.
Oh,
yes.
See, that's something to look forward to then.
So
I think you have greatly overestimated the commission amount that Disney pays to its travel agents.
Well, I'm hoping you're booking some other people. I mean, I can't be your only client.
I think you are.
Oh, am I?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you are single-handedly keeping the podcast afloat at this point.
Danny 2020.
Tell me something I don't know.
Yeah. It's on your back, man. It's on your back.
Anyway, look, it's all not lost, right?
Right.
So this morning, we're recording this on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I played a jazz brunch for, it looks like, you know, a bunch of families. There's a bunch of little kids and their mothers and stuff, mostly. I didn't really see too many. I think I saw one dad. That was about it. Okay. So I'm playing with a jazz trio. We're doing this jazz brunch. And then, well, you know, in the middle of we're playing with this thing, the lady, I guess the lady in charge, the manager of the place, it was like an event place kind of a thing, you know, like where you do your weddings and stuff, came over to us like, all right, we need you to stop for a few minutes. Tiana's about to come in. I'm like, Tiana? Like, Tiana? I didn't get, I mean, we were playing and she came up and told us this, so I didn't really, in my head, I'm saying that. I'm like, Tiana. You're like, you know, come off the cruise ship boat, Tiana. And but anyway, we stopped the tune. You know, we finished playing the tune and then, you know, they start doing whatever. And then comes this lady dressed like Tiana.
Wow.
So it almost became like a character meal for these kids.
Well, was it like a professionally done Tiana?
No.
Okay. No. Okay.
I mean, the costume was okay. It wasn't too bad. You know, she was of the right.
It was Aunt Nene.
Yeah, like what was wrong? Like,
no, it wasn't.
She just showed up in a cooking apron and a pot with.
No,
what?
She didn't do that. I thought that would have been funny. If
the
she
ladle.
She came in with the green outfit, the princess green outfit.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, cool. And then so he's like, hey, let's play Wish Upon a Star. So we started playing Wish Upon a Star. And she walks in and does her thing. I was like, oh, that's Tiana.
All right.
You know, or a Tiana-ish.
Yeah.
Tiana-ish.
And I'm, you know, at some point I got talking. I was like, aren't you supposed to be on the boat that just took off? She had no idea what I was talking about.
Oh, wow.
So she wasn't even in character.
Well,
Was she wearing like a watch and like on her cell phone or, you know?
Drinking whiskey or whatever? No.
Yeah.
No, she didn't have any of that. Luckily, she did okay. I don't know, man. I didn't really get a chance to talk to her because she stayed in character for pretty much most of the time. We started playing some Mardi Gras second line stuff, and so she got up with the kids and started dancing.
Oh, good.
At some point, we stopped, and she was telling stories, and basically the story she was telling the story of Princess and the Frog.
Oh, cool.
She was doing the whole thing. I was just like, oh, she's doing a pretty good job. I don't know where the hell she came from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know she's not the real Tiana, but, you know, it's just the kids didn't know. And I thought that was just kind of interesting. It's like, well, of all the places, I didn't really expect this to happen, you know, in the midst of a jazz brunch. And it was a jazz brunch right on the parade route up there in Slidell. And so, they did the jazz brunch thing and then they took off to the parade and then Tiana left. And
So it was a Slidell Tiana.
Yeah, it must have been a Slidell Tiana. I don't know. I looked around and she just entered through the door. I don't know where the hell she came from. I don't know where she parked.
She came from Gauze Street.
You know,
usually the
it must be Gauze. It's like,
Yeah,
I can imagine
Slidell.
her just, I mean, granted, it's Mardi Gras, so right, her walking down the street is nobody's going to bat an eye to that. Right?
Right.
You know, but yeah, so I had a Tiana sighting.
Well,
It wasn't the official Tiana, but she was pretty good.
There are several companies that do knockoff princess meet and greets. And actually one of the, we met somebody who worked for one of them through a mutual friend of ours. And she was doing, I want to say it was Cinderella, but in Disney, she actually was a real Tinkerbell.
Really?
Or a friend of Tinkerbell, I guess you would say, for a while, and then came back. And then while she was here in her spare time, she would go to kids' parties and if they booked out.
So she had the training to do it effectively.
She had the Disney training.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this girl did or did not.
It seemed like it would, based upon, she carried herself really well and stayed in character. I was quite pleased, except for the end when they were cleaning up. Everybody left. They were cleaning up, and she was picking up crayons and stuff. I was like, okay, well, maybe Tiana might have done that.
Tiana might have. I mean, she's had to. I'm sure they had a kids menu at Tiana's place.
Yeah,
and they had crayons, and then after it was over, she had to put on the crayons.
Yeah, she's being a good hostess.
Sure,
it was cute. They served beignets. That's what the kids ate.
Now, did she have her hair made up, or was it like a wig?
No, it looked like it was her hair.
It was. That's a step up on the.
That was pretty good. It was like authentic, not a wig.
There you go.
Not a wig, and she was the right personality and stuff. And so I was like, well, okay, cool.
And you never like approach her and like, come on, let's talk. Like, how did you get into this? You might be fun to interview for a podcast.
She left before we stopped playing, so we're both kind of working at the same time. I only had a chance to answer that one question, and that was about it.
Okay,
I had to get back to playing music, so the owners would be happy. And then she did her Tiana thing all throughout the place. And then we did the second line, and she got the kids dancing, moving around the little brunch area, and we played other stuff like "Do What You Wanna." So I thought that was kind of funny. Make Tiana dance a different Mardi Gras stuff.
Okay.
Do What You Wanna, yeah. Feet Don't Fail Me Now, all this kind of songs.
Yeah.
All right, Tiana, feet don't fail me now. Don't fail me now.
Now, did y'all play any of the music from Princess and the Frog? Dig a little deeper, nothing like that.
Well, no, because she did it, so we had to stop again because she played 3 of those songs. She did 3 songs for the movie on her own, and then I don't know what she did with the kids.
Well, she just had like background music.
Yeah, they canned it in. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it's like, we were going to, and then it's like, oh, we're going to play it. I was like, oh, well, she's already doing it, so I guess we'll do something else. So we just played a bunch of different, we played like some Louis Prima stuff from like the Jungle Books. That was fun.
Nice.
When You Wish Upon a Star, a bunch of different things, a bunch of different stuff.
So now your Disney heart is full?
Semi-full.
Well, he's working in this one. He's not on vacation.
It was. Well, I mean, but still, it was enough to kind of counter the sad effects. I had like sad effect earlier, and then here comes Tiana. I know it wasn't the real Tiana, but it worked. She worked. It was adequate.
What would make her the real Tiana for you? Because I get that you approve, but you keep saying that, and it kind of makes me feel bad for Slide Down Tiana.
Well, let's see. So what would it make? No, she did well. She did well.
Yeah, you do kind of represent, like she had like one of those plastic Halloween costumes like we had when we were kids with the mask, with the face and the little rubber band around it. Like you make it sound like she had like some knockoff dress and just didn't look like the real Tiana. But
no, it wasn't a knockoff dress, but she had come in with a big brown briefcase for some reason.
Pick up the crayons. That's what she's gonna put the crayons.
I guess.
In.
I don't know what was in it. I didn't ask her.
Okay.
That kind of threw me off. So I don't know. I don't know.
So she was like Elwood Blue.
Yes. Yes. So it's like, oh, Tiana. It's like, ooh, Tiana. But then it's like, oh, okay, Tiana.
All right. Well, she got 2 jobs.
Was she delivering the case to Marcellus Wallace?
Maybe there was a back room. I don't know what took place there. As a good musician,
there's a golden frog in the briefcase.
Yeah.
All right. So you didn't say what would you change?
Oh well, no. The way it would have made it like an actual real Tiana is like if there was like this big grand entrance and music and lights and all this kind of stuff just coming in and Prince Naveen's escorting her in there. And,
they don't do that for Disney.
No, that could be. Yeah, they don't do all that for that, but it'd still be kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's still kind of cool. But that was kind of my adventures for the week, Disney wise.
Yeah,
a little bit of sadness, but then a little bit of cool.
You should have got a company card because I bet you we could have looked it up and I bet you would have seen that there's probably a lot of princesses that they do.
Probably, yeah. We should have them on the show.
That's what I'm saying. You could have booked her.
I'm sure there's an event.
I can find out. I'm sure I can find out.
I was going to say, there's probably some event planner that works at the place you were at that can find it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
At the very least, could have got Eli a date.
Yeah, Slide Down Tiana. What's happening?
Yeah, I have to bring you the next one of those gigs that we do.
Only a 45-minute drive.
I didn't see no dad.
Frozen 2.
How far away is Hammond?
Slidell's closer for you.
Okay.
Well, Slidell's closer for you.
Fair enough.
Oh, Slidell is less. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
More convenient. Slidell Tiana, come over here.
What's up? Bring your briefcase.
Yeah. Get down and dirty, down in the bayou.
All in that.
Yeah. But anyway, so those are my adventures Disney-wise.
Well, good.
Yeah. It ended up sad, but then it ended up pretty good. It was cool. But thank you for indulging me because I just had to vent.
No.
And just kind of get all that out.
I'm kind of starting to look forward to these segments.
Yeah. I don't plan these. It's funny. I just don't plan it. Things just like that happen. And I was like, well, what the hell?
Well, that's right. Because we don't have to give our thoughts, our commentary. We just have to react to what you're saying.
And help me through this.
And help you. Yes.
Yes. So I feel better now. I'm good.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And all you listeners too for indulging me in that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Here we are on the hub, and for today's hub, we are talking about the top 10 ride attractions that came out during the past decade. And our decade for us is 2010 through 2019. If you remember, we did a similar exercise like this with the top 10 movies of the decade back on episode 304. So 304, make sure you go check that out and listen to how we rank the top, or what our top 10 movies were and how we ranked them. We did the exact same thing with ride attractions. And why am I specifically saying ride? Well, Disney, if you look in the website and stuff, and even the guidebooks, attraction has a very wide definition, right?
Yes.
So they have attractions, they have ride attractions, they have show attractions, they have individual entertainers, parades, nighttime shows, nighttime events, all that kind of stuff. They consider that attractions. And so basically,
Sorcerers in Magic Kingdom games.
Yeah, games. Oh, yeah, that was on that list too. Basically, what I did is I made a master list based off of what I found on touringplans.com. They're not our sponsors, but I use their list because they did a pretty good job of capturing everything. We come to find out they didn't capture everything.
The Raz did a better job.
And so make sure you look for a new Magic Our Way list coming out soon, administered by the Raz, who will keep track of that for sure.
Word.
The resident Mohican historian.
Yes, she did a good job. And she did that on the ride to a ride home, I think it was.
She was riding home with ride attractions, talking about ride attractions. How about that?
Wait, she drove and did the list at the same time?
Pretty much. Just jotted down every single attraction that we didn't have on there.
So she saw, I know she didn't see this compiled list, but you're saying like she saw.
No, she saw the compiled list. I took a photo of it and I showed it. And she even gave me her top 10 list. I mean, I don't think she'd mind if I share that with y'all at the end of the show.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be interesting to see how
it stacks up. Yeah.
And that goes with any of you guys. I'd love to hear what your top 10s were. So go back to listen to episode 304. Tell us what your top 10 movies of the decade were.
Yeah.
Was. And then also make sure you let us know what your top 10 ride attractions, specifically ride attractions, guys. And I'll post a list that we were working off of in our show notes so you can kind of check out and see what we're dealing with. And this just ride. I got to specify just ride attractions. You got to get on something, it moves you around, and then you got to get off of it. You got to stay behind that yellow line until the car stops.
Ride along.
That kind of stuff. Make sure you put your your safety restraints on, whatever else. Yeah. Ride attraction.
There's a part of me that wants to be like, you know what we need to do is we need to do the rides of the Michael Eisner generation versus the Bob Iger generation.
That'd be awesome.
But I think we did that on our Eisner-Iger comparison show.
Yeah, probably so.
I think we did do that comparison.
There was a lot of beat you had.
There was. That was like a 3-part show or something. And Aaron was a part of that as well.
That's true. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So basically, guys, what we did, we took that full list and each one of us compiled our top 10 and ranked them. Okay. And so what I did is we took all of our top 10 lists. So that's 40 responses. Based upon everybody's ranks, that's what that attraction got. So if something was ranked number 1, it got 1 point. If something was ranked number 10, it got 10 points. So for our particular list to have the top seated place, number 1, you have to have the least amount of points. And by the same token, if to be the 10th place, you will have the most amount of points.
Makes sense.
So basically what we did is I compiled all the lists together. And then the first thing I eliminated was all the ones that got only one mention. So one of the things that got eliminated from the original list was Alien Swirling Saucers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Double Dumbos over at the Magic Kingdom. That got eliminated, only got 1 vote from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then Luigi's Flying Tires, Mater's Junkyard Jamboree.
Same thing as Alien Swirling Saucers.
Yep. So basically, we were left with 11 attractions that had got multiple votes from everybody else. And so since we're dealing with only the top 10, number 11 automatically became our honorable mention. And that honorable mention, of course, is Frozen Ever After over at Epcot. So that's our honorable mention for sure. Has all that kind of praise, 11th spot. And then what we did is I took the top 10, and then each of us had to re-rank those particular top 10s because depending on how your list went, some of your attractions might have made it, some new ones might have popped in. So we re-ranked those, and this is the list that I'm about to present to you guys right here, right now. After everybody's compiled their points and ranked it, we did the exact same kind of calculations. Again, for the top spot, the attraction has the least amount of points, and for the number 10th spot, the attraction has the most amount of points.
So this is the homogenized official Magic Our Way collective list of the top 10 attractions.
Just like milk.
Yes.
Wow.
Was it pasteurized too?
Yeah.
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
Was it skim or full-on milk?
Whatever we're drinking is actually really nice.
It's smooth.
So it's smooth.
Like milk.
except for that Japanese thing. It's got a little bite. It's got a little bite. It's got a little bite. But anyway, so I digress. So y'all ready to hear this top 10?
I can't wait.
Yeah. So basically what it is like each of us ranked it. Nobody knows how the other person ranked it, based on what we did it. So I'm the only one that knows the results.
Yes.
And Lee, Danny, and Eli have no idea what's about to happen. None. So this is how we
Except that I know that 11 is frozen ever after.
Yes. Except that he knows that 11 is frozen ever after. That's our only guarantee.
Okay.
All right. So the number 10 attraction for the decade for Magic Our Way, us, is Navi River Journey.
Navi River Journey.
Okay.
Compiled about 36 points. How about that? Navi River Journey is our number 10.
You know, that deserves to be there. That's where I had mine originally ranked for Navi River Journey, was the 10th attraction. Or ride attraction.
Ride attraction, yeah. Did I have that? I had it at 8. Yeah,
you had it at 8.
Not too bad. Who else had it? Did anybody else have it?
I did.
You did. Danny had it at 10. I had it at 8. Did anybody else? Lee, Eli?
No.
No.
How did y'all leave that? I mean, that's just such a detailed.
Well, I had to approach this in two different ways. Number one,
okay,
because there are going to be some things I didn't ride that are still going to be in the list. There are some things that I liked that weren't going to make the list. But the challenge, I think, for us with this whole thing was stuff that we have not experienced. Because in the last list, if we hadn't experienced it, we could just go, watch it on YouTube or find it on Disney Plus, or
sure,
just go watch it real quick and form an opinion. So without that experience, I had to form my opinion on, public opinion or what I'd heard from others or other agents or even from you guys and things like that. So I had enough in the original top 10 with things I had not experienced or things I had experienced to leave it off my list in general. But now that we've got it on here, I can compare it to what's still on the list and then form an opinion around that, if that makes sense. That's a very convoluted way of it.
It is a very convoluted way.
Yeah.
It's hard because I had to, it's a gut decision. Like, okay, well, I have not experienced this particular ride and I've experienced these 12, and then you rank it out from there. But then at the same time, there was some that you had not experienced at all that you still knew were going to be in your top 10. So.
Well, full disclosure, I have not experienced a Navi River Journey as well. Mm-hmm. I have not, just because whenever I have a fast pass option available, it's going to go towards Flights of Passage, which I'm not even a big fan of. But
I'm also not a fan of waiting in line for 2 hours.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
That's the thing. I between the two, one is more of a thrilling experience. The other is a boat ride through a world I could care less about. Mm-hmm. However, I can appreciate the amount of detail and the animatronic figure, and I can experience that through watching on the videos and seeing what went into that, as opposed to Incredicoaster, where they just slapped a new coat of paint and threw some figures in there.
Yes. Yeah, I'm exactly. I got the chance to ride Navi River Journey, so I'm. That's the same reason that I gave its position, is just the detail that the Imagineers give to it. Yeah, it's a boat ride. It's a system that they've had before. They just repurpose it and use it for this particular attraction.
Yeah, I remember specifically you, Kevin, when you wrote on Navi River Journey, because again, for me, it was like when the stuff first came out. It was like, okay, there's always hype on some sort of ride. I remember, like you said, this one came out with Flights of Passage, and you wrote them both. You were like, yes, that was cool. I remember. And props to them for what they created. But I was like, well, again, compared to what we're gonna see on the higher ranking, it's like really hard to kind of compare them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I know enough. Like, I've ridden Alien Swirling Saucers, and I've ridden Double Dumbos, and all that stuff. Frozen Ever After, and Frozen Ever After actually was higher on my list than Navi River Journey. But I've ridden enough of this stuff to know that just in terms of a complete attraction, it's not as good as what they put in a Navi River Journey,
right?
Based upon what I've seen, and that just comes from, again, would I wait in an hour-long line to see it? Yeah, I'm not going to force my family to do that.
Right.
And if I got to choose between fast passes, we're going to do Flights of Passage because I know they'd prefer it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a caveat with this thing. Is like, not all of us have ridden some of these attractions, but there are definite reasons why we put things where they were.
Sure.
And if any of our reasoning listeners, let us know. Your opinions are always welcome. We want to hear if there's something maybe we thought wrong.
Yeah.
Or if there's something we're not considering. But yeah, there's nowadays there's more than enough resources to kind of get an idea of it. Yeah, it doesn't match up to actually experiencing it. Mm-hmm. But at least for me, there's only one attraction on the entire list that I didn't ride, But for me, there's enough that that can make me put it where I did put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's our number 10. Navi River Journey. How about that?
That's fair.
All right. So number 9. You ready for this?
Yes.
It's the Little Mermaid, the Ariel ride. So it's either called the Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure, or Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid, depending on which coast you're on.
Okay, but now hold up. Slight bonus distinction here. Like it has to be Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid in Magic Kingdom because you're walking into Ariel's castle. The queue is better. It fits better. It's one of the rare things in Disney World, and I believe that's why I did. There's not much that you can say that Magic Kingdom does better than Disneyland or California Adventure, but that's one of them.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the way they have it themed for her there is much better than whatever they shoehorned her in over at California Adventure. For sure.
And then look, that one came first, and congrats on them for being first because normally they're first and they nail it. But I got to tell you, there's
built that for her.
Two ways about it. Yeah, that fits right in. You see the castle, you walk through it. There's these waterfalls. It's a lot better than when you're walking into what looks like, I don't know, like a
dark warehouse.
Yeah, I guess sure. Let's go there.
Hey, it is.
Compare that to Toy Story Mania, right? We had it, and before they built the whole Toy Story Land, it was some backlot soundstage looking thing. Versus out in California, it was part of that whole Midway area.
Yeah, it's part of the Midway. Fit in perfectly.
Yeah, and the Barker Potato Head was perfect for that. There was a reason for that. So yeah, it's the exact same thing. Yeah, so absolutely, Magic Kingdom.
I think you're going to see the same thing with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, where it's going to fit just nicely where it is, but it's going to be done so much better in the Toontown portion where you're supposed to be encountering these cartoon characters, not necessarily in a Chinese theater.
Yeah, but with the Little Mermaid, I mean, at least with this one, there's a lot of areas you could look. You got to look up, you got to look down. There's like all kind of different elements being thrown at you.
And that's why it always made it up higher on my list in Frozen Ever After was because that scene where you ride in and they're doing Under the Sea or they're doing Kiss the Girl or Part of Your World.
Kiss the
what's the one? Yeah, it's Part of Your World where she's look at this stuff, isn't it neat?
Yeah.
Beautiful setup on the scenery. I love it. Love those scenes.
For me, it was always on my list because it's an Omnimover. Yes. Hey, they decided to make an Omnimover again. Yeah. You guys made this particular ride system in I don't know how long it took you before to do it again, but they did it again, and it's great.
Yeah,
right? It works. I love it. It does its thing. It eats crowds. It does. It's good stuff. It's a lot of fun. And when you first go under the water and that whole effect with the projected, splash and you're going in,
yes,
absolutely amazing.
Right, that's the thing. It's at least a little bit more immersive.
Yes, definitely more immersive. All right, so are we ready for our number 8?
I'm scared.
Number 8 is Incredicoaster.
This is an atrocity. I don't know.
That didn't even make my list.
Didn't make my list either.
You hate the Incredicoaster?
No, it's not that at all. I hate the Incredicoaster, but you're talking about if you've ever rode California Screamin', it's the same damn ride with just some hanging up some figures. I mean, and I understand why you and Lee did it because y'all never experienced California Screamin'.
Fair.
So that was your first experience of it. So you're like, hey, I'm going to. But it is. It's the same ride, with just a new coat of paint and some figures added.
I mean, it's a great ride.
Yes.
But compared to some of the other stuff that was on my list, it wasn't enough to make it into my top 10. It might be my top 15, but not my top 10.
Well, I mean, like you said, this is again within a decade.
Yeah. Just a decade, yeah.
No, but look at it like this. It's the same reason you didn't put Soarin' Around the World on your list. Because you experienced earlier Soarin', and it's like, well, yeah, it's the same thing, just with an updated film. Same thing with California Screamin' to Incredicoaster. Same exact experience with just a new
coat of paint.
Right.
Things to look at. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I gave that to you because I mean, when I went on it. I mean, like, and of course, I love The Incredibles, so it's always cool to have an IP that you could go on a ride and be like, all right, cool, this is my thing. So I dug that. And of course, the ride itself, you cannot be too old and go on that ride. It was very memorable. Like I've got a lot of different roller coasters, but I remember when I got off that ride, I was like,
wake you up. Yes,
I was like, I do not need to go again for a bit. Like I had fun, but I'm exhausted. Not too many roller coasters do that to me. So it was a very memorable.
Was that I think that was the first ride we rode when we went to, and after having gotten up in the morning, you're kind of tired, you're going in there.
8 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep. Better than cappuccino.
We met JP and they went off to get, I guess they went to get a corn dog.
Yeah.
And then we went to go ride it. That was our first thing.
I'm so glad they didn't eat before I got on it though. I'm really glad
No, that's a beast of a coaster. I'll give it that for sure. It's definitely a lot of fun. But yeah, that's our number 8, man. How about that?
All right.
Well, I kind of, to me, like Incredicoaster, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Slinky Dog Dash. Not that they're the same ride in any way. I know.
Mr. Bluebird's back on your shoulder, dude.
I know.
It's the truth.
It's factual.
Factual.
But not that they're interchangeable, but they're all the same type of thrill. But Incredicoaster is more thrilling than the other two. So that's why I kind of put it above Seven Dwarfs and Slinky Dog Dash, even though Seven Dwarfs has probably got the best theming of the three. Slinky Dog has a longer wait time. So maybe that is, in everyone else's opinion, maybe a better ride. But just as far as just straight out fun, I want to get right back in line and do that again. To me, that was why I put the Incredicoaster above the other two.
I'm sorry, dude. You're talking, but all I hear in my head is give a little whistle. Give a little whistle.
Well, you know what I hear in my head?
What do you hear?
Let's all sing like the birdies sing. Tweet, 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 tweet. Not to diminish your point.
Yeah, when I listen back, I'll catch his point.
Tweet, 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 tweet.
That's right.
Tweet, 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 tweet.
That's mighty fine.
Yeah, very good, very good. We always love talking to nature. We have
yes. But anyway, look, those other coasters, Lee, it didn't make our top 10. It's still within there. So
yeah,
not to fret. But let's go to our 7. You ready for our 7, which actually is Slinky Dog Dash. That came out to be our number 7 spot.
That fell a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. It came up ahead of Incredicoaster. That's interesting. For sure.
I gotta say that, and that's part of and we'll get into this in the later discussions where we're talking about ranking attractions that you haven't fully experienced. Slinky Dog Dash was something I was just dead set against. I thought that sucks. I've seen it. I've seen ride video of it. I think I have a good hold on it, and then I ride it, and I'm like, that's pretty amazing. And so to see it this far back, I don't know. I think if you rode it, I think the experience would be a little bit different. That's why it's hard to judge things that you've never done before. Slinky Dog Dash is an amazing ride. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's not as much to see, but it's really well done.
Let's see, where do we have it? So Lee, it looks like you had it at 8, right? I had it at 5.
That's exactly where I had it. I had it at 5.
Let's see. Eli didn't make. I don't think it made your list. E.
My original one.
Yeah, your original list. No,
but the updated list, he did update it.
Yeah.
What did Eli's final ranking of it come at?
Oh, let's see. Eli had it at 8.
8.
Yes,
mainly for
the original list. Yeah, I was talking original list. Sorry. Yeah. So the new list. Yeah, you got it at 8.
And you're right. It sounds like it's one of those things. Like it didn't look like there was something crazy to it, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it. And nobody said anything bad. It was okay. Like even Lee has always compared a bunch of rides to this one, so that tells me it's got some cred. But
we'll get into this when we get later on. Yeah.
All right. So our number 6 spot goes to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
Dang.
Yep.
6?
Number 6.
That's higher than I had it. That's much higher than I had it.
I know we were good. Well, that's fair.
Let's see. Danny had it at 7 for this top 10 list. I had it at 3. Lee had it at 5, and I had it at 9.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I didn't think you were that high.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I put it at 9. Yeah. So Danny 7, Eli 3, Lee 5, and me 9.
I tried to figure out a way to put it that low, but I couldn't.
I guess we get into that, but yeah, that's one of those things. If the first experience, if that was all I had of it, I probably would have ranked that a lot lower.
Yeah.
I had to base it on the second experience.
That is true. Once you ride up, and I think that's probably why I'm at 7 and Kevin's a little bit lower on it.
Yeah,
because having that pilot experience, now you're fully engaged, and it was so much better.
But that's the thing, though. For me, though, it's like it's one of those attractions. Like if you were with 5 of your other friends, including 6, it's a much better experience than if you're like with people you don't know.
That's
correct.
You know, and that just because of all the interactivity and what you have to do with it. All right, and just being goofy and fun. That's the thing.
Of course. Like if somebody doesn't shoot down, the people chasing you, you don't want to turn around like, hey, why don't you you're 4. I'm sorry.
We had the video on YouTube. When you watch it, we're all like, hey, punch it. Dude, I had a blast. I don't know if I pressed any. I think I was just pressing buttons, mashing buttons just to shoot things. I was one of the gunners, but it was just fun to ride with everybody.
Exactly.
You know, and just like yelling. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
Exactly.
Right. And that was the thing for me. It's a collaborative part of it is what was awesome. That's what made it unique in general. Not to say I would have put it above everything else, but the fact that I rode it with y'all the second time, that's what I had to base this off. I didn't even go from the first experience when I was yelling at people, hey, fly straight. I ain't want to.
And even the sixth guy played along. We had a sixth stranger. We didn't know who he was.
He was nice.
Yeah,
he
was cool.
He took a picture.
Yeah, he had fun. It looked like he was enjoying himself.
Yeah.
At our expense. It was fun.
See, what I would wonder though,
Because we're entertainers, right?
Would it have been different if we could have had more time to do rotation so everybody could have had a chance to be a pilot if that changed the ranking on this? I mean, we'll never know.
I think it would have changed. I don't think Kevin would have had it down at 9, but I don't think he would have gotten past 6.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have made my top 5 for sure.
Just the same as if you guys would have done a couple of these attractions, I think they would have been a little higher on your list.
That's totally fair. Yeah.
Well, interesting enough, we're going into our top 5. So our number 5 spot belongs to Avatar Flight of Passage.
Interesting.
And very interesting, yes.
Fair enough.
I think I had the lowest ranked one at 7 for this one.
Yeah, I was right behind you there, right in front of you there, Kevin, at 6.
Eli had it at 6 too as well. And looks like Lee had it the highest at 4.
Me and E agree on that one. All right.
With you on that one. Oh, that's one of the few ones that I got a t-shirt after I rode it because I was like,
that's what I was trying to be fair because I don't like the simulator style attractions. There's like a time clock in my head where I know I'm going to start feeling queasy right around that 2-minute mark. And then there's a race against time to get off of it. But I found myself engaged and really, if I had to judge it by the first time I went on it, not so good. When I went on it with Steven Downs this time, my wife, my daughter, and you had the smells, like we were like, it's like, dude, I don't remember having smells and feeling water being splashed in my face near as much as the first time. And I think Steven remembered the smells, but didn't remember the water constantly getting splashed in your face. And when you have motion sickness, that helps.
No, it does.
Wake up. It does.
So there were sounds and water splashing.
And there's
like
wind blowing.
It was like a spa, Lee.
Yeah. So that was like Eli's Saturday date also.
Saturday night, and Eli wants to party.
Don't need no goggles. That's what I do.
Yes. If you listeners are wondering, Eli had a date, so we'll just leave it like that way. You're not left in the dark.
That's
Eli had
nice,
a date.
so, yeah.
We'll just leave it at that. He had a date.
I'm totally losing track of what I was
Sorry, Eli.
say.
Sorry, go ahead. Really?
No, that's
you're thinking back fondly on the
I
date.
appreciate the love.
I just hope he wasn't pinned in where his legs were buckled. And he was forced down and he couldn't move with his butt in the air.
Hunched over.
That didn't happen Saturday.
Breathing between your legs.
Yeah, I had to fly. I had to dive a little bit to, come back up for air. But,
can I ask you something about Saturday night? Would you wait an hour and a half in line to ride that?
Have I already written it before? Yeah, why not? I mean,
why not?
It's been a few years, so why not? What's an hour and a half?
What's funny is that you remember in the ride that's that whale pops up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
you're talking about Soren, right?
No. I'm talking about. Is it a whale? Well, I don't know what creature it is.
There's a whale in Soren.
Yeah, there's a whale there. Whatever that big creature pops out of the water.
Yeah.
That's what I picture you last night. All over.
Oh, now.
Yes. Freedom.
What
I
did
have
you
been
say after that? Yeah.
And then water splashes in your face.
That's why I say who are
so it was like Free Willy.
Come on, guys. Give the man, why is he with a whale?
Ah, yeah.
You ain't even.
Wow.
Stop.
No, I didn't mean it. The date was
I think I know. I'm so.
Can he finish?
Big,
that's what I was talking about.
Just jumping up in the air like a Thanador or whatever that was. What is the creature called over there?
I don't know what it was.
Thanator or Thanadorian?
Thanos?
No, the evil.
Yeah, Xanadu.
All that. Have to believe via magic. No, the evil banshee is called like Thanatos or some
Thermos?
Put some coffee.
I wasn't a big Avatar fan. I've seen it once or twice.
I saw it once.
Thermopolis.
He's Greek. Hey.
This is Thermopolis. He sells guns.
And Max kills cops for a living.
Hey,
yes, no.
Anyway, all right. So that's our number 5, Avatar Flight of Passage. How about
that?
God. All right. So
I hope your date doesn't listen to this show.
Yeah.
Does she like Disney at all?
She actually listened to a couple of
our shows.
Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
A couple of the,
I'm sorry.
I saw people I meet that I do the show.
Oh,
everybody's like, where do you go? I'm like, I do the podcast, and So
Where do you go?
That's all right. Huh?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
What? All right. So our number 4. Our number 4, guys.
I'll make sure to say, hey, to this other episode, you're not gonna like.
Yeah, don't listen to that
I
episode.
like it how curious like people are where you go.
Yeah, because like say, hey, you wanna go and hang out, go to the bar. Like, no, I do podcasts. Like, what? Podcast? What are you talking about? So nobody believes
They've
that.
never heard of a podcast before?
They've heard of it, but no, I guess they can't see me doing
What
one.
is this technology of a
So-
podcast?
They don't find you to be entertaining or
I mean,
funny or
You're not funny.
insightful,
You're like not
or-
even haha
Yeah.
funny.
No?
It depends on who you run into.
Okay.
Then nobody can see me. This is the thing of,
They don't see the real you.
They don't
Yeah.
know you like we do.
That's right.
absolutely
The
right.
boy can expound like no other.
They just think I'm
Preach.
just this guy that just, shoot pool and crack jokes and drink beer. But I'm
just the
more
guy.
than that.
Akeem Olajuwon.
Well, that's kind
I'm
of
just
what
the
I
guy.
take you to be. I mean, you do a good job of cracking jokes and drinking beer while you're on the show.
But usually I say, well, listen to the show
Uh-huh.
if you don't believe, because people think you lie a lot. So they're like, hey, look, listen, I bought it. That's my voice. There you go.
Okay.
You know, it's funny, not to take this astray, but I have to clarify podcasts now. Like I say, hey, I do a podcast. And then it's like, oh yeah, which one? It's like, well, it's not one of those podcasts because for them in the academia sense, the podcast is like an audiobook. Because there's some people that produce podcasts like that, right? You listen to it, it's well produced. They're reading from a script and it's very, very structured. So I got to tell them, like, no, it's not like an audiobook podcast. We're more conversational, late night talk show kind of a thing. So if you're thinking that's what we do, we're not an audiobook. So I've gotten to where I've had to kind of complete because they're like, oh yeah, I'm listening to this now. I'm listening to this podcast and this podcast. It's so entertaining. It's like, yeah, we're entertaining too, but we're not. Don't expect an audiobook because we're not an audiobook.
Yeah, we're not
That's-
NPR. and
We
all
are
that.
humans.
That's true. One of my friends, Eddie, like he listens to like these well-produced podcasts about murders and
Yeah.
unsolved stuff and craziness. And it's like these well-produced things where we're just four guys hanging out talking.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. We're conversation nature, so that's what we expect. And so that might be what it is. They may not think you're doing an audiobook type podcast.
It's just a lot of people don't, some people also don't know what it is. And you
Right,
explain,
right.
you say, well, I usually just say it's like a radio show.
Radio
It's
show.
basically
Yeah.
easier
Yeah,
to say,
that's
like,
exactly,
got it.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Did I say the 4th ranked ride?
You did not.
I did.
What was the fourth
We're
ranked?
having fun riffing this
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry. I can't remember if I mentioned it or not. But our 4th ranked ride attraction is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Okay.
That comes in at number 4.
Okay. That makes sense. That's a fun one.
That makes sense, but I'm already going to have a problem with this.
Yeah.
As far as where it's ranked? Or
Not before as where it's ranked, but something's scooting up a little bit too higher than what it should.
Scoot.
Scooch.
You're already working it. I'm trying to be surprised. You're actually working out. You're playing. You're guessing what's coming up. That's what you're.
I'm engaged. Don't you think the people at home are engaged? Like, where's such and such? How come they haven't mentioned that? You know,
I'm sure. I'm just going for the ride. Some people might be like driving home, like, hey,
Yeah.
what are they gonna say next?
Well, if you're curious about this particular ranking, Daddy had it at 3, Eli had it at 7, Lee had it at
7?
8, and I had it at 4.
wait. Lee had it at what?
8.
8. What the hell is wrong with y'all?
Well, I had other stuff ahead of that didn't make the cut. I mean, that made the cut, but not as high as I thought.
I mean, it's a roller coaster ride. You stop. You see great animatronic dwarves
The car sway.
doing their things. You sway back and forth. Why would y'all possibly have it this low?
Yeah, I had it ranked pretty high because of some of the advances they had in the technology. So you had swinging cars, you had the animatronic face things, and the stops and starts. It was
Yes.
all a lot of that's how I had it. That's what my reasoning for putting it up there.
I mean, like, I can understand, like, maybe y'all didn't experience it and y'all watched it on YouTube or something, but I mean, y'all have experienced this.
Yeah, no, I like the queue. I like the setup, but again, compared to
It was
what
the Adam's
other
apple,
ones
wasn't it?
were,
Yeah, he was checking out that dude in the line. And
you keep putting that out. You got it. That one.
We got to let it go.
Yeah.
We got to let the Adam's
we weren't
apple.
saying that you went out with him on Saturday.
Thank you. I didn't know that was inferred.
But just to be clear, you didn't go out with him.
Thank you. I do a podcast.
Just
It's
a
like
whale.
radio show.
No, we're playing, obviously.
yes.
But
Yeah.
no, this doesn't make any sense. No, that's way, way too low on y'all's list. For Seven Dwarfs Mine Train?
I mean, like I said, I wrote it, and I said I liked it, and it's a chill ride. But yeah, I mean,
It's chill, but I mean, it's got a little thrill element in there.
Yeah, there's some thrill.
yeah, it's not gonna make you queasy or not like that. It's
No.
just gonna.
Did you put in Credit Coaster higher on your?
Yeah.
You did? Oh, okay.
That is sacrilege.
But like you said,
okay,
though,
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't ride California Screaming or whatever. This boy got the fresh coat of paint.
I don't
So
care if you wrote California Screaming, it shouldn't be higher than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Well, I like superheroes. I like the Incredibles. I have nothing against Seven Dwarfs and stuff.
You like
It ain't
Little
about
Dwarf?
what you like. It's about how they presented the experience.
I mean, it's my choice of what I like, right? And I took that roller coaster and I was like, whew, that roller coaster, I felt something. I could do this multiple times.
Look, all
You could
opinions
do-
are welcome in
Yes.
the Magical Way podcast, but uneducated opinions are lower than others.
Oh man.
If they don't match what you said,
Eli, you want some Glen? I got some Glenlivet. You want some Glenlivet?
give me that one, give me the other bottle too.
We'll mix it. We'll pour it. We'll make,
All together.
some
I got
jungle
2
juice.
cups, one for each hand.
That's good.
what.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
good.
going with.
Yes,
I like.
you like it.
Where did you have it at, Kevin?
I had it 4.
It's about exactly where it should be. 4 to 3,
4 to
somewhere
3.
in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, so going up to our top 3 now. Our third, number 3 attraction is Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout.
Okay, that got a little too high for my taste. A little too high because there's 2 things that this attraction doesn't. Now, don't get me wrong, I had it at 4,
Yeah,
but that was a hard 4. Like, I could have easily switched that and Slinky Dog Dash because Guardians of the Galaxy, and I know why you did it. Superheroes, Marvel, gotcha.
But there's other stuff besides that. But
Yeah.
that's like a good.
But let me tell you what this ride doesn't have: repeatability. You're not going to get. You don't get off of Guardians of the Galaxy like I want to get right back on that thing. You
Okay.
need a moment.
You do need, but
I
that's
think I rode it like 3 times that week.
he did do
In
that.
a row?
Yeah.
I don't know if he did it in a
Well,
row.
not in a row, but during the week. Like we were there for what, 3 days?
And that's what I'm
3.5
saying.
days. I rode it 3 times.
It's a good attraction, but I don't know that it has a repeatability factor in terms of like I can get right back on that thing. Like you ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, like immediately my daughter's like, Daddy, let's get right back on there.
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah.
I've never ridden Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout and been like, I need to go right back on there. Plus factoring in, again, I rode it when it was Hollywood Tower of Terror.
yeah.
In there, and yeah, don't get me wrong, the layout and their overlay, I should say,
Yeah.
was much better than what it was, but it's still the exact same thing.
Yeah, no,
Well,
exactly the same
yeah,
thing.
It's just with a different queue and a different pre-show and different video.
There's a little more story in
A
this.
little
one.
bit, but it
Yeah.
is an overlay.
Yeah, but it's a
And-
little more. It was. I put it up high, yeah, because of the theme of it, and it's a little more engaging. I'm a Rocket Raccoon fan, so it was cool to see the little silhouette. He pulls the cord, everything drops and stuff. So in Tower of Terror, I mean, granted, it's the same general ride system, right?
Mhm.
Yes. So I get the up and down, your stomach's in your throat and everything like
True.
that. But it was cool. Like, the thing I liked was what was distracting me was seeing all of the Guardians on the screen. So I would just be like, oh, whoa, all right, cool. As opposed to not focusing on it being like Twilight Zone and just be like, oh, I'm going up and down G-Force. Oh, I can't take it. Like, it actually takes me out of it watching those characters on the screen. So it does
Yeah.
make it a little more digestible.
Yeah, yeah.
Digestible. I don't know. I still prefer Hollywood Tower of Terror.
Well, that's
and-
the thing,
and-
right? So-
and Florida better than even the Guardians redone attraction
Right.
in California. That's why, again, to me, look, what they did was a decent enough job, and then they did a great. I can't even say decent. They did a great job in doing the overlay to it, but at the end of the day, it's still the exact same ride system. They still do it better in Florida.
Well, here's the thing. So for me, it actually could have been interchangeable, with that. But what distinguished it for me is that they used, because they're actually technically they're 2 different ride systems. Our ride system, I think, suits our tower better. It fits that whole theme of that attraction. When they redid the ride system to make it more economical, that's what they built in Disneyland. And then when they tried to shoehorn Tower onto that particular ride, so, granted, it's still a drop, but the experience is slightly different. They don't have that moving elevator, that horizontal crossing elevator. They don't have a lot of different things that kind of make it feel like, oh, this is a crazy little elevator.
True experience.
Once you got into that elevator, you were in the tower, and it was like, okay, there's nothing removing you from the fact that I'm in an elevator.
Yes.
Our trip through the 4th dimension
Yes.
is what sets it apart, because like, oh shit, this elevator is moving forward. Elevator's not going to move forward. This is not Willy Wonka.
And then that's what makes it special. I mean,
Right.
imagine moving forward and you get some animatronic Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy things to look at. I mean, it's something that separates it.
But yeah, but they didn't do that in California. They don't have that fourth dimension. So
Because they made it on the cheap.
yeah, they made it on it cheap, and for them it was a more economical because they could accommodate more riders. The whole YouTube thing that I've shared, and we can get into that another time. But when they did the Guardians thing, I thought it was a better use of how they redesigned the ride system.
Sure.
Which leaves our tower intact. Our tower is still the best tower, I thought, compared to the California version.
Yeah.
Guardians in there now. That's a great way to use how they designed that new ride system. Go with it, because you're in the thing, and then you're convinced, the dude's pulling you up, and stuff like
trying
that.
to help. Yeah.
So it's a little bit better. So that's what kind of edged it out. But it almost could have flopped for me. Seriously. So anyway, so that's our number 3. All right. So our number 2 attraction out of the decade is Radiator Springs Racers. Number 2 attraction.
Yes.
And all of us had it at number 2 across the board.
That's exactly where it should have been ranked.
Yeah. No, I think so too.
6 months ago, it would have easily been number 1.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt. That's definitely a better use of that ride system, especially now, given the new test track version that we have now. Yeah, no, I think that's a much better experience. It's colorful, it's fun. You're racing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's right up there. And you're probably thinking, well, what's number 1? But we'll get to that in a little bit.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Well, I was worried about them, but okay, they all track.
Yes. But yeah, no, that's a great attraction. I love that. I rode it multiple times when we went on our last trip, and it was just a hoot.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's one of the well themed. You get on, you get off. You want to go right back on there.
You get Australians or whatever people.
People want to kill our hosts.
Yes,
you
get accosted.
You get accosted. Yeah. Wow, there's all kind of experiences.
People don't
there.
want you to go on the ride so their wife they can get on with them, but you gotta be like, hey, tough luck.
Toss you off in Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah, that's true.
Cadillac Hills.
We had a lot of adversaries in that ride.
Yeah, it was great.
You did.
It was awesome. It was
That to
lovely.
me, again, that's a very important factor to making a great attraction to me is that the second you get off of it, you want to get right back on it to see what the details that you were just too mesmerized to notice the first time.
Yeah, no, there's a lot in there too.
And that's what makes to me that when it came to a tiebreaker, that's what it was. What one did I ride that I needed to get right back on there?
No, absolutely. Great attraction. All right. So we're down to our number 1, and you can probably guess what it's going to be, but let's just recap what the past 9 were before we get to this number 1 here. So number 10, we had Navi River Journey. Number 9, we had Undersea Journey of the Little Mermaid. Number 8, Incredicoaster. Number 7, Slinky Dog Dash.
Do it like that.
It's just, look at it. It stinks.
Look at it again. It's on the list.
It just fucks up the whole list.
Look at it again. It was built in a decade.
The Incredicoaster, then Slinky Dog Dash. Then we had Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run coming in at number 6. Number 5 is Avatar Flight of Passage. Number 4 is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Number 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Number 2 is Radiator Springs Racer. And the number 1 spot that we all ranked number 1 is Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
Yes.
Specifically, the one in Walt Disney World, because the one in Disneyland has not opened yet. Not that it'll be different, but at least I don't think so. It shouldn't be, right?
It's not that much.
It shouldn't be
as far
there.
as I know, it's not supposed to be, but
Who knows?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, they didn't change Smuggler's Run, but
well, that's a video screen.
yeah, that's true. There is that.
Huh.
But
Now
yeah.
you got me curious. I never even thought about it. I wonder if there is going to be any differences.
I know. Time will tell, and it should be soon. Yeah, they should
Very
be getting
soon.
there.
I mean, they're already on
over
cast
here.
member previews. Maybe John Paul knows.
Yeah, maybe JP. Maybe get us a report.
Yeah.
I think he's written the one. I can't remember. I
Well, I don't know if he can talk about it. Look, we'd love to have JP on the show, but I don't think.
JP, reach out to us if you're able to chat,
Yes.
or somebody that sounds like JP.
Yeah, we could
Or
put
maybe a friend of JP.
Yeah, friend of JP.
Or Joshua.
Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua could call
Or
him.
you can pretend he's Joshua. Not that we're having the actual JP on because he's an active cast member. He can't
No,
talk.
no,
He's got a
absolutely
gag
not.
order. So we're going to have JP will have some coffee. We'll talk. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, number 1, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. How about that? And the funny part is you're the only one that's written it.
Yes, I am. So this kind of became a discussion, topic of debate, if you will.
Trying to figure out if we could actually do this list effectively.
Because I'm like, well, maybe we should wait until we've all ridden it that way. Because my contention was, again, as I said earlier with Slinky Dog, I didn't think anything of it And I could have watched 1,000 YouTube videos and it would have never made my top 5 for sure. Maybe it would have made the latter part of my top 10, but having ridden it and experienced it, it was awesome. Conversely, Toy Story Mania, Avatar Flight of Passage, all I could hear about was how next level awesome these attractions were. I rode them. I experienced them. I could care less about Toy Story Mania. I understand the thing with Avatar, but it's not necessarily a must do. So that's kind of where I was coming from on this. I appreciate like having it on the list somewhere, but number one, to be absolutely positive, I mean, Radiator Springs Racers is pretty good.
No, that's
to be
thing,
absolutely positive that it's that much better without experimenting, because there might be some level of it to where you're like, yeah, that's cool, but that element of Radiator Springs Racers where you're going fast and you get that thrill element that you don't really quite get in terms of speed or velocity on Rise of Resistance. I mean, maybe that would assuage y'all one way or the other. I think it would have turned out this way no matter what, but I thought it was an interesting discussion.
So for me, full disclosure, I haven't written this yet, but out of all the attractions that I've seen in the decade list and this stuff and all the openings that have taken place, it's been a long time since I've seen a ride open and I'm itching to get there.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been part of my sadness too. It's like, oh, I want to ride that ride. We don't have a trip planned. I can't get down there. I mean, it's been a while. Like even when Avatar opened, or maybe even Radiator Springs, I was excited to ride Radiator Springs. And I look forward to it, but it wasn't like this. This wasn't drawing me to it. Like I got to experience that attraction. And and I got to thinking when we were talking about that off air about if we can actually do this list, if we can actually we'd be silly if we didn't put Rise of Resistance 1. It's like I can put Rise of Resistance number 1. One of the reasons is because I have that urge to want to do it. And I remember when I was younger, I used to have those urges whenever like Tower opened. I remember having that same kind of urge whenever I forget things that open. You see things that open. You always see like the promotion billboards when you're driving down there, and it just gets you amped. All those other, like Flight of Passage, Avatar Land open. I wasn't really, even New Fantasyland. I was like, I want to see it, but there's nothing really pulling me. That's like I gotta go now.
Do a Smuggler's Run. There was nothing pulling me in, and I wanted. But the last attraction that pulled me where I really wanted to do it was the Nemo submarines.
Oh,
when I saw footage of that in Disneyland, I'm like, there's no way that this video here is just doing any justice to this. I need to actually experience this in order to really understand this and how cool this looks and how well done it is. Prior to that, I mean, I can't. The very first thing I ever saw that really blew my mind when I saw it in model form was Typhoon Lagoon. Where I was like, one of these days I'm going to see that. When I finally got to see it, it lived up to exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
Shouldn't even say lived it up to it. So there's a handful of ones where you're just like you're chomping at the bit. Rise of the Resistance definitely fell in that category. When we were talking about what was being announced, we were like, Millennium Falcon. Let's get this Rise of the Resistance thing, because we always knew that was going to be the main attraction, the main event. And there's a reason. Like, look, this list is stateside attractions only. I mean, don't get me wrong. We feel the exact same way about their Pirates ride over there. Yeah. But we know the chances of us riding that anytime soon is slim to none, whereas I'm sure Kevin will be riding Rise of the Resistance in a year or so.
Yeah, I have more of a chance of riding Rise of the Resistance than I do the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Exactly.
Whatever Tale of the Treasure of the Loss of the liquor and the rum and whatever that is.
All of
the one over in Shanghai, which I'm not going to go there yet because of the whole virus thing.
Oh, yeah, that's that little thing happening there too.
But what also just put me number one is, as I look through the list that I compiled, right? It's Disney's created a lot of ride systems or things that have revolutionized the attraction industry. It's been a long time since they've developed something where it's like, oh, this is going to change things. And even though I've watched numerous videos, just because I've been just like so chomping at it to watch it, and just hearing your accounts when we did the review and the Raz's and Steven's accounts, everybody's accounts and online and stuff, it's like, there's no doubt in my mind, this is changing the game a little bit. If not a lot, Let
alone not just, I mean, it's one of the few times in the last several years that Disney can walk away going, top that mother.
Right. Drop the mic.
Exactly.
Let's go.
That's funny.
It's like, oh, you got Hogwarts? Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Bam.
Uh-huh.
Rise of the Resistance.
What you think? You liking that?
That's definitely, there's something to be said for that. But there's also the element of, just the satisfaction that you never got from the movies. And they brought back Star Wars and they made you care about it and want to see it. And not only that, they brought back the dark ride. They brought back something that we, as children of a generation that grew up on Pirates and Haunted Mansion, and those were next level rides. We weren't one for these 3-minute quick attractions. I mean, that basically took place on a screen. We liked things to be right there in the room with us, and they brought that back. And so God bless them for doing that.
It's so beautiful, man. You look back on Disney and, they came up with the steel tubular roller coaster. They came up with the Omni-Mover system. They came up with the boat ride kind of thing and really plus the boat ride experience. They have the flying ride vehicles like in Peter Pan, which they haven't done anything with it since then, unfortunately. That's something I always thought they should do something else with.
Yeah.
Because that's just a unique ride system. But anyway, I digress. And then after that, it's like, Soarin' over California.
Yeah.
New ride system. Yeah, it's a simulator.
It's cool, though.
It's cool. It's
You're
cool.
right up there on it.
It's a totally different, totally different thing than just being in a container and there's like Star Tours. But yeah, this one, man, it's to me, it's multi different types of rides, different experiences, a tactile element to it because you're there. It's completely immersive thing to it. So it's like, yeah, this is a new thing, man.
Absolutely.
Universal's got their Spider-Man that did it for a while, but now this thing, Universal's got to answer for this. I'm sorry. Yeah, Universal started with Spider-Man, and then Disney said, "Okay, balls in your court. What do you got? What you gonna do? That one in the Diagon Alley thing or whatever? Okay,
yeah,
that blows this. This one looks
not
like it
even
blows
close.
that.
Yeah, no, that killed
no
it.
doubt.
Now I didn't ride the Hagrid's motorbike ride, but.
It's a coaster. I wrote it. It's a coaster. It's still cool.
It's their to me. It's their version of the Slinky Dog ride, but I'm sure some people who have ridden it will disagree, and they'll have better standing to do so. Because I did not. Because that was the one thing that did not offer a fast pass or whatever they call it over at Universal Studios.
Express pass.
Express pass. There you go. So. Anyway, that Disney can rightfully claim top of the mountain right now for a good long while. Because look, they've done elements of this with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Radiator Springs Racers. That was my top 3. It was Seven Dwarfs Mine Train 3, Radiator Springs Racers 2, Star Wars Rise of Resistance 1. And the one thing that all 3 of those have in common is audio animatronic elements that are. But the thing of it is, like, you go around outside for quite a bit in Radiator Springs Racers. Then you go into this one little section. You have this one dark area where you get to experience some animatronics. And then boom, you're right back out and you're going fast again. Same thing with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. You're going around the mountain. You stop. You go through this wonderful audio animatronic show building. Yeah. And then you exit that and then go fast again. Star Wars Rise of Resistance kind of keeps you there. Except for this simulator style attraction, getting there and go. But in even there, they're sprinkling in real elements.
Yeah, and it's advanced versions of what we had before, but probably even done even better.
Yes.
I'm chomping at the bit. I mean, there's no doubt. Of course, there's the hype and there's all this other stuff people are saying. But for me personally, it's like,
well, that's why I'm surprised you don't have any plan to go anytime soon, because between this,
depressed to begin.
Because the very next thing that's coming up
Tiana,
is
save me.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway,
and
that's
this ride is making me excited for that, because if they're doing this, I know they're developing. Right down the hall, they were developing Runaway Railway, and I'm sure ideas have crossed. So if they plan an immersive experience such as Rise of Resistance into the Runaway Railway, I want to see that one too.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's like, maybe it's not at the same levels because they're not doing the whole boarding group thing. But look, who knows? Maybe it doesn't need the boarding group thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll time will tell, and we'll be curious to see. But yeah, I'm excited for both. More so for Rise of Resistance because I'm still watching videos of it. Yeah. Somebody posts it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna check it out. I'm like telling friends, like, you gotta check this out. Mm-hmm. Showing my kids videos.
You don't feel like you tortured yourself though?
Oh, I am. I'm totally. It's like sadomasochism, whatever.
I agree. I haven't written it yet, but I was like, based upon a few things I've seen, the show that we did, like with you, Raz, and Steven. I mean, I was engaged in that, and the part where like. The fact that you had to get up so early. When I asked you that shit, I'm like, was that even worth it? You were like, yes. I'm like, okay, that speaks a lot.
That's another thing too. When I think about that, it's like, I don't like waiting in like long ass line. 1 hour is a stretch for me, but for this, I think I'd really consider it. If not, actually do it.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I knew it because I knew I was probably going to be the only one of us to be able to ride it, and I needed to be able to talk about it on the show. But for my own sense of purpose, I'm couldn't be happier that I did it. And I went through some extreme stress to do so,
Yeah.
but I hung in there.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Go listen to that episode, guys. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. And it's good. Look, it's going to be the same way with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So, because I didn't get a fast pass to ride that. And I'm sure we'll discuss that coming up, but I didn't get a fast pass for that. And so when I get in there, I'm going to have to get in there early and we'll join a boarding group and it's going to be make a beeline right towards Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and wait however long I gotta wait. Yeah.
It's like the dash to splash, but no, it's the dash to whatever
because I'm going to be the first one of us to be able to ride that. And so if I'm in line for 4 hours, I'm going to have to, man up.
Yeah,
That's all there is to it.
And that Ricky Bobby.
No, absolutely. I would do that with you if I could.
Yeah, well, because I'll probably be the only one in line.
Yeah, but
I'll fly down just to do that. Lee, book me a flight just so I can ride that with Danny.
just need one day. That's all you.
Or book me whatever. Book me something. Whatever you do, travel agent wise.
Travel agent guy.
The whiskey's
Do
good.
that voodoo that you
do that thing. Do that magic you do so well.
Yeah, I just want to add, like, my perspective on this from not having written it was that I had to square that in my mind as, again, as Danny mentioned, this is something you haven't written. How can you say it's the number one attraction that's been released in the last 10 years? And so, I kind of approached this whole exercise as if a client came to me and said, hey, I can only ride 10 rides. What 10 rides do I have to ride? And then that's where I made my list from. And with this, you don't have to do too much research to realize quickly that this is going to be the number one of the 10. And it's for sure going to be on your top 10 that you have to do. So just like if someone were to come to me and say, hey, what's the best dining experience in all of Walt Disney World? You're going to tell them Victoria and Albert's. Now, Danny might say, well, you know what? I don't like to have to bring a jacket or, to interrupt my day and things like that. And that's fine. Everyone is going to have their own take on each of these attractions, but you cannot, it's hard to debate that is not the number one dining experience. Now, whether you want to do it or not, or pay the money to do it or not is a different conversation, but it's the best dining experience in Walt Disney World. So
can I ask you a question real quickly? And I don't know if you know this off the top of your head, but what is the hardest reservation to get? Victoria and Albert's or California Grill?
That's a very good question. I would go more towards Victoria and Albert's, but I don't get a lot of requests for it. So
I was gonna say.
I can't say from experience because it's one of those very exclusive. You got to have a certain person that has the right schedule and the right frame of mind and wants to spend that money and things like that. Even California Grill is not as hard to get unless you want that specific time. That 8 o'clock, 7:30 reservation to where you can be there right for the fireworks.
I don't know, man.
What about Ohana breakfast? That seems to be pretty
breakfast,
popular.
No problem. Ohana dinner is harder to
Really?
get than breakfast.
Oh, yeah. He's absolutely right on that. In fact,
No kidding.
He's right. California Grill used to be no problem to get, but the last 2 trips, I've tried to get California Grill and cannot. Used to be like, if you were willing to eat at 9 something at night, sure, come on in. Same thing with Ohana. Sure, come on in. But that was all you got. Ohana breakfast, though, you could nail that. That was easy.
I just thought it was super
most
busy.
of the time, breakfasts are easier to get just because people want to get to the parks and they don't really want to spend time.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's say there's a 11 o'clock breakfast. Yeah, most people are like, shoot, I've just wasted half of my day sitting there eating breakfast.
Which I'm okay with.
Same here.
Right. And again, you gotta think about for the most part, you're talking about people that have never been before. So it's like, if you've never been before, like me and you, it's like, okay, let's go to the park. Okay, let's cut out for an hour and go get breakfast. Let's go back to the park. We don't have any problem with that because we're not going to miss, that much. We've already experienced what we want to experience. So this is more about just relaxing and having that as part of our experience. But if you've never been before, you don't want to have to get, either late in the day or, whatever to have a breakfast.
And the best part about it for people like us is that if you go to breakfast at Ohana, you can still order Lapu Lapus. They have a wasabi Bloody Mary, which was delicious. Oh,
no, you had me at Lapu Lapu for breakfast.
You seem to have a reaction to the second thing.
Yeah, that too.
Okay,
you're happy again?
Well, you got me excited for the first one, and then I just finished for the second one.
Well.
Right on.
I'm glad I could finish you off. Much like Eli's date, I have to leave now.
Yeah. You want some orange juice?
It is. Oh, do you want to borrow that music next time you have a date? Do you need that out?
Well, yeah.
You need to wrap it up music, so if you gotta go.
That should be fun, right? Like, hey, I want to stay talking.
Of all the things to say to a girl afterwards, would you like some orange juice?
Because you got to get up, get some juice to kind of replenish the.
No, it's kind of like this, right?
I have every intention of eating those bananas for breakfast,
I would
but I
not-
still somehow end up with tacos.
Orange juice.
Orange juice. Oh my.
Oh man, yeah. So guys, that's our top 10, man. Look at that. How about that? Top 10 of the decade.
Very good. Except for the Incredicoaster, I feel good about this list.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad. Like,
I'm sure
you know,
Eli's happy and Incredicoaster made it. Well, I don't know if we're going to continue with the top 10s, depending if we want to do this, but we do have dance parties. We got entertainers we could rank. We got exhibits.
Shows.
We got games. We got shows. We got nighttime. We got play areas.
Wait,
We got. I don't know if y'all want to do that. We'll see. Who knows?
Yeah,
No, I can see them doing that.
As far as entertainers, for me, I classify those were like bands, acts, individual street performers.
Oh, okay.
Entertainers, like actual physical entertainers, not like a full production show.
Right,
I
right,
consider
right,
like
right.
a theater show.
Like the Jammers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So they, in a decade, they, hired and released over 66 different entertainers. I was like, oh man,
I was going to say, I'm not even sure if I'm up to date on who's there and who's not anymore.
that's so tough. I looked at this list and was like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be up to date because they keep changing.
The last couple times I've been there, I haven't seen Divine, so I don't know if that's still a thing.
God, what is that? I ran across something. There's some lady. She's like a bamboo stick or whatever. I don't know what she is.
Bamboo stick.
Yeah, I was like, because I clicked on. I'm like, who the hell is this? And there's like, yeah, it's like Divine, but it's not Divine.
It's
like
Bamboo
it's like a
Betty?
bamboo. Yeah, it's like bamboo.
Bamboo Betty, Bamboo
Lamb.
Lambo, Bamboo.
Bam, lamb.
Animal Kingdom, August 14, 2013. She's just called Bamboo.
Bamboo.
That's all she's called, Bamboo. That's what the
girl
act
named
is called.
Bamboo Strip Club was. She was there.
Oh,
There you go, right on.
oh,
She left Splitters though after she danced. It was tough.
Oh,
oh.
shoot. Just bring the tweezers. And
There it is.
You were just like a koala.
Just bring
weren't
the
you?
aloe vera.
Yeah.
You're like that little koala on a bamboo tree.
There it goes.
There you go.
All right, do y'all want to hear the Raz's top 10 real quick?
Yeah, let's
Of
hear
course,
Raz.
yes.
Raz, what you
Yes.
got, Raz? What you
All
got?
right,
What
so
you got?
obviously I'm going to go 1 through 10 because we pretty much already kind of given away. Of course, number 1 is going to be Rise of the Resistance. Number 2, Flight of Passage. That edged up. 3, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. 4, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. 5, Frozen Ever After. Which I believe that one did deserve to get ranked. I think a lot of people overlook that one. I do think they do a really good job, and that's still hard to get fast pass, isn't it, Lee?
Yeah, it's in the top tier. So, and that if I'm going to grab one for someone and they want Frozen, that's like, okay, we need to go there first.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, then 6, Radiator Springs Racers. I do think she was a little low on that. 7,
do
Guardians
too.
of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. I think that's perfect.
That felt better.
8, Little Mermaid the Ride. 9, Slinky Dog Dash. 10, River Journey. So I do not be River Journey, I should say. I do think that worked out well.
yeah,
that's,
no, absolutely.
in fact, I even remarked, I was like, we had the exact same list. It's just a little bit jumbled.
Good, man. Excellent. And we'd love to hear all the other Mohicans, your top 10 list. I'll post the top 10 as we had it, and you can rank it. And I'll be curious to see maybe what the Mohicans think as far as it's stateside. This is stateside ride attractions because we haven't experienced the overseas ones, although one day, hopefully, we'll be able to. Even as a group, it'd be great.
Yeah, because we have an actual Magic Our Way host list, but wouldn't it be awesome to have like an actual Mohican list? Like
Absolutely.
of the actual top 10 attractions.
Yeah, maybe I'll create a survey and post it out there. Maybe you guys can rank it, and then we can see what the Mohicans have thought of for the top 10 of the decade. Maybe we can do that for the movies as well. Who knows? But anyway, guys, let us know what you think. Show at magicourway.com. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed that discussion of our top 10 ride attractions of the past decade, 2010 to 2019. If you want to learn more about us, magicourway.com is the way to go. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. If you want to get in touch with us or share your top 10 with us, you can do so through the following ways. Email us at show@magicourway.com. Leave us a voicemail via our SpeakPipe widget, or call or text us at 1-815-MOHICAN. That is 1-815
Mohican
669-4226. And of course, we got a couple of guys do things outside of the podcast. First of all, Eli does things with drawing and comics and charcoal and pastels and whatever. I don't know.
Whales.
And whales. And water.
Banshee.
And
Bamboo. All kinds.
and buildings.
Yeah.
Building on.
Brushwork.
Yes.
All that.
Directions.
You
Yes.
see all this good stuff on ivycomics.com, as well as a link to this podcast. You don't miss anything. And there's artwork for Project Geisha, Savages, and the Molly Be Damned. All kind of interviews and blog posts and whatnot. So please support that. You could go to facebook.com. I'm there, Eli H. Ivory. Project Geisha has a Facebook page on Facebook. So yeah, check that out. Instagram, I'm out there, eIvory504. And on Twitter, I can be found at Hancock10166. So yeah, if you appreciate the madness, he just bringing me the gladness. Thank you very much. And I still love a credit coaster. Thank you.
And guys, if you want to book a vacation so you can ride in Credit Coaster or any of the attractions you have not ridden yet.
Oh, don't.
You could do so through Lee. Lee, tell them how to book a vacation with you.
Just give me a call at 832-431-1621. That's 832. Dumbo was robbed. DMBORBED. You can email me at lee@magicourway.com. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/Lastovica Travel. That's LASTOVICA Travel. Instagram, you can find me at You Got a Friend in Lee Travel. And if you do any of that, we'll get you hooked up and booked up with no.
Razavica.
Can I tell you, I would have been happier to see Dumbo on this list than Incredicoaster.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You really got it
Oh,
in
yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's not, like, again, I wrote it when it was California Screaming. It's not that big of a change. It's
Yeah, I like Dumbo. It's a cool, nice, chill.
Yeah, but they
around
added a
thing.
whole area that never existed before that's really kind of cool and interactive. And it was really their first attempt at doing something where the kids had something to play with for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, however long it took for your pager to go off. So it was something new and interactive, whereas this was just kind of, shoot, that damn roller coaster's in the way of this rethemed land we're going to do. What do we do? I don't know. It's Pixar, right? Incredicoaster. Okay, let's just throw some figures in there and we'll call it a
some
day.
scenery, get a little story with the characters. So
Little story. That's pretty much sums it up right there.
Well, you're not there for this. You just there to ride a coaster and be like, woo, and then you're good. And it was an
Ride a coaster.
experience.
Ride a coaster.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Dumbo. I mean, it's a chill thing. I mean, now granted, like you said, like if I had my daughter, she was like a little kid again, which I do miss.
She was once.
Once she was.
Once she was.
Magic didn't exist.
She was once.
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 I mean, I would
Is
probably,
this the little girl I wonder?
there it is. So I probably would do that, but
I don't know
yeah,
the rest of that.
you know. But look, right now I'm about flying spaceships and riding roller coasters and breaking out Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's where I'm at. Some tough living.
Tough living. That's right. Well, guys, look, if you want to support the show as a whole, you can do so through the following ways. You can buy us some beignets. And just a quick shout out to a new beignet donor. We have a Mr. Raymond C. Wrote us in and donated 10 orders of beignets.
Hey,
How about
wow.
that?
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Raymond.
Right
Thank
on,
you, Raymond, man.
Baller.
We definitely want to hear your top 10. Let us know, please. Show at magicword.com. But thank you for the beignets, man. We definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So it's right there. The link's right there on our homepage, right there. So you just click on it, whatever you want to give. All that helps to produce this show, man. So from website hosting to podcast file hosting, all that kind of stuff that goes into doing the show, you guys are help contributing, and all that money goes toward that. And also other ways you can support us: clothing from our shop, and easiest way to support us is to leave a rating and review in Apple Podcasts, wherever you download the show, whether it's Stitcher, Blueberry, Google Play Music, etc. Also, support our partners in podcasting over the BS Podcast Network, who we are a member of. And also, if you want to have a place in which you can freely speak your mind, your Disney mind without fear of retribution, join us in the Mohican Pleasure Island 33 Facebook group. There you'll have the chance to interact with all the famous Mohicans, as well as Danny, Eli Lee, and yours truly. And we thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to us and making us a part of your Disney fan life. We appreciate you and love hearing from our listeners always. All opinions are welcome on the Magic Hour podcast, so get in touch with us today. So Mohicans, ladies and gentlemen, we say Quarini. My name is Kevin.
I'm Danny.
Magic out.
I have every intention of eating those bananas for breakfast, but I still somehow end up with tacos.
Orange juice.
No, always after.
Sipping on that orange juice. Laid back.
Hey, it's Lee from the Magic Our Way podcast.